Okay, so pop quiz. What is the top grossing action movie with a female lead? No, I'm not going to answer that question right now. I'll answer it later on in the video. However, I want to talk about this because it seems like this is failing at the box office. 25 million in its first week is atrocious. Now, had this have been the first John Wick, well, it would have been fine. 25 million is pretty much what the first John Wick made. But this is not the first John Wick movie. This is now the fifth John Wick movie. And let's face it, had this have been John Wick 5 starring this guy, it would have made this amount. So is this the official ending of the girl boss era? Well, here's the simple answer. There wasn't really ever a girl boss era. What we had was studios trying to push this woke agenda into people's mouths and failing over and 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 over. You get the point. Duh. So, what are the origins of the girl boss movement? Was it anything to do with the Me Too movement? Well, kind of. It seems like the origin of that movement came from the film Ghostbusters in 2016, which made a 70 million loss. 3 years later, Charlie's Angels made 73 million worldwide on a budget of 55 million, which means it probably also made a 70 million loss. There's been Birds of Prey, Terminator Dark Fate, Tomb Raider, Ava, Gunpowder Milkshake, The 355, Kate, Peppermint, Red Sparrow. So many movies have come with the female action lead and flopped, especially since 2016 when the movement kind of began. So, objectively speaking, has the girl boss movement been an absolute failure? Duh. Well, yeah, of course it's been an absolute failure. If you were to total up all the flops compared to the successes, it's been an absolutely woeful failure and a mistake that Hollywood keeps making over and over again. Now, for the most part, many people actually like this film, but it seems like whether people like a film nowadays doesn't really equate to the box office. Yeah, I'm looking at you, Minecraft. But what is the mark of a true girl boss film? Is it just having a female lead in the main role, kicking ass and generally being a man? Or is it a bit more layered than that?
No.
And that's the problem because there's no more layered than that. What it really is, what these movies truly are basically leading roles for men being played by women. And that is actually the problem with these movies. These female characters are often stoic, they have no humor, they typically have a lack of sexual appeal, they seemingly beat up counterparts that are so much bigger than them. I mean, look at this, it's absolutely terrible. I mean, just that movement there would break her arm. And the question is, why would anyone want to watch this? Well, the answer is no one does. And that's the problem now, because when a film like Ballerina, which is supposedly good, comes out, no one wants to see it because of what they've seen previously. And some people didn't even bother watching these previous films as per the box office. And I think inadvertently, by mistake, Ballerina has officially ended this girl boss movement. But wait a minute. Let's just hold on for a second. Is that actually a good thing? Well, in theory, yes, it's a good thing. I mean, no one wants to see any more of this. But I do think with an idea of nuance behind a good story, a good actress, and a good director, you can create great female led action films. I wasn't a huge fan of Furiosa, but I know many of you were. But to me, that didn't feel like a woke film. It felt like a misguided film compared to its prequel of sorts, but it did not feel like a girl boss kind of film. It was ambitious, it had a good storyline. Our female character actually was kind of weak, not in the mind, but definitely in her physicality. And Wonder Woman 2017 was actually pretty damn good as well. And who doesn't like a little bit of Frozen 2 or Frozen 1? I've not seen either of them, but people like that as well. So having a female led action movie is completely a good thing. Having a girl boss movie is definitely a bad thing. And that is where we have the issue. There's no longer a clear distinction between the two things. When you see an actress leading an action movie, your brain automatically thinks now, girl boss film, and you don't want to watch it. And for the most part nowadays, you're pretty much right. They are girl boss films. But I just want to tack on here that this isn't a new thing since 2016. This has been going on for decades. And when I say this has been going on, I don't mean the girl boss movement. I mean female led action films. I think my favorite ever action film with a female lead is La Femme Nikita, a beautiful French film from 1990. If you've seen Lyon, then you should definitely watch La Femme Nikita. Same director, almost the same cast, almost the same story, but I prefer La Femme Nikita. But forget that. That was 1990. Even before that, we had great action movies featuring women. We also had some really bad ones as well. If you're a fan of the blaxploitation movement, you probably know all about Foxy Brown. Pam Grier was the kick-ass female who was going around town kicking ass. She was kind of stoic, but not really, and she looked damn great doing it as well.
If you see a man anywhere, send him in because I do need a man.
And you know what? Well, I've kind of touched upon something there that maybe I should explore a little bit further, which is the over sexualization of an action star who is female. Because prior to Foxy Brown, you had things like Barbarella and Modesty Blase, Queen from Outer Space. There were a number of films that would be more exploitative of the female race than actually promoting how powerful the female race can be. I would say the first film that really nailed it was Alien. And of course, that role was actually written for a man, or gender neutral, as they say. And despite the success of Alien, really after that, there was really only Aliens and Sarah Connor, in fact, just James Cameron, who was really promoting female leads in action roles. He was still having silly movies like this and like that were still over sexualizing women. And that's where we have to kind of be very careful about how we play up this whole girl boss subject. Because let's face it, the girl boss movement is pretty much finished. But what I don't want to see is a return to this or to this, because ultimately you can have successful action films that are entertaining, quality driven, and also don't over sexualize women. And I also think if we actually broaden the subject a little bit here, which I think we could do, there have been some amazing female led films in the past 5 to 6 years. Not specifically action films, but definitely films of great quality. In fact, some of the most interesting films have come from female directors over the past 3 to 4 years. And let's be completely honest here. Before the girl boss movement in 2016, there was a huge lack of female presence in lead roles. There was a huge lack of diversity in lead roles. And I'm not one to actually promote the idea of DEI. I think it's a terrible idea, and I think whoever thought of it should be absolutely burnt at the stake. But I do think to have that huge shift that we needed, by the way, you had to go through the pain. And we went through a lot of pain to get to this point. And we're now at this point where a film like Sinners is universally celebrated. A film like Black Panther can make $1 billion, and female directors are now getting a fair crack of the whip. And for me, it was worth the pain to get to this point. So, yes, the girl boss movement is officially dead, but we needed it.
Yeah, I guess.
So, in the comments right now, tell me what is the answer to the question I first posed? What female led action movie has made the most money at the box office? Well, take a bow, Brie Larson, because Captain Marvel in 2019 made $1.1 billion globally. Now, there's a bit of an asterisk here because that was actually coming off the back of Infinity War. So let's take that with a pinch of salt. But other films like Wonder Woman made 822 million, The Hunger Games Catching Fire made 865 million, and again, Frozen made 1.45 billion. But I'm not going to actually include that one on the list because, well, it's not a live action movie. So let's just forget that one for a bit. And I would say, for the most part, those films are actually not woke and they're not really girl boss movies. Wonder Woman is a character that's been around since the dawn of time. The Hunger Games is certainly not a girl boss movie. And even Captain Marvel, which, okay, that was a bit girl boss like. Okay, right, I'll give you that one.
Gotcha.
So, yeah, that's the downfall of the girl boss movement. But in the comments, let me know what is your favorite ever female led action movie? And what's actually your favorite ever female led action movie scene? And do you think the girl boss movement was a good thing, a bad thing? Do you think the films that are coming out recently are actually damn good? Do you think the female directors nowadays are damn good? I want to hear your comments. Let's have a conversation. Please hit the like button. Please subscribe and I'll speak to you soon. Big love.